Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining me here today. My name is Eve, and I'm going to take you on a journey. And hopefully it's a new journey, or at least further along on your awakening process. Is this video specific to those souls walking this earth that are wanting to move into your higher consciousness? You feel like you're on the path of much deeper awakening, or you're just getting on that pathway, you're looking at it, you're wondering if you want to dive onto that. So I am here to help you on that journey, on how to access your greater cosmic consciousness and how to live through it, and how to build cosmic connections on this earth. We can ultimately build cosmic connections with any living being. Not just a human. We can build it with any living being. In this video, though, I will be focusing specifically, though, on the journey of romance and love, and looking for and opening up our world, inviting in our divine counterparts. But in order to get there, we must first look at the reality we are in right now today. And we live here in the 3D. Our soul, which is so much larger than the expression that we are taking through physical matter. Our soul is an energy force. It's a source of energy like the sun. It is a star. It creates its own light and its own fire. Interesting concept, right? So when we are wanting to fully live through our soul, we are actually also inviting in our cosmic lineage, our cosmic consciousness, and every soul journey that our soul has actually been on. That's what we call cosmic consciousness. So it's living through our soul, our higher self, our light bodies, and I'm going to go into that in a moment, and I'm going to give you some tools on how to further the journey here, because we cannot do it alone. This is not a journey that we want to do alone. We need to call in the higher powers here, because the cosmic journey, we're not only looking at where our soul was possibly birthed, but the different realities that our soul has incarnated in, has dreamed its way through. There's so much we do not know about our journey. And when we want to open ourselves up to living as cosmic beings walking this earth, we are doing that because we are here to illuminate the planet. When we live through the fuel, the fire, the light of our soul, we then light up the planet. Limited resources will be a thing of the past. Clean air will be part of our new future. Clean water will be part of our new future. There is nothing that we will not be able to create when we fully embody our soul and our soul's mission. So let's look at what does this mean. Well, we first have to recognize that we do have a human expression. So this human expression is our soul taking form through matter and wanting to experience matter in the 3D, which is all of our 5 senses and some of the other senses beyond that, because we can live our human expression with heightened senses. We can have clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and still be in that human form of matter. But when we're tapping into those higher senses, we're indeed inviting our soul and our higher self to be a primary participator in our life and in our daily routines. And so the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is just step back and decide if this is what you want or not, because it's not for everyone. Not everyone's journey here right now on the earth is to embody that higher cosmic unlimited potentiality of who you are and where you're going. For some, you want to live within the 3D within the 5 senses. You fully want to experience what physicality means and you're not really interested in doing anything beyond that. And that is completely all right, because that's your journey. And your soul is wanting to learn something through that. I am here to tell you, though, that if that is your choice and that is your journey, then the relationships that you're going to call to you or magnify to you are going to be other human beings having a similar experience to you. And they could be soulmates, absolutely. You may end up, though, going from one relationship to the other and perhaps not staying for over a decade or over 2 or 3 or 5 years with any one individual, because you're wanting to experience your life here through the human construct only. And so the lessons you're going to learn then, once you learn them with that other soul, the time with them will be over, and you will then need to move on to the next relationship with another human soul wanting to live within the human construct only. And the other thing that can happen here is you can start a relationship with another human who's doing the same thing as you or something similar, and in the first couple months, year or years that you're together, they want to go further and they have an awakening, and they no longer want to only live through the physical human construct. And at that point in time then, if you are not choosing to awaken with them, your relationship then must actually complete, because you are not at the same level anymore. And the direction that your soul is taking is going to be radically different. And that is one of the reasons why a lot of relationships in this age of Aquarius that we've now entered as of December 2020, so many relationships are dissolving or ending because the people involved are making different choices now. And so that's me trying to describe it, hopefully in a way that you can capture it. It's all about energy, and it's all about where you're at, what level, what frequency, what vibration you are living at. And the moment you decide that you want to live through your emotional, spiritual body, which is the roadway here, or the roadmap, then you are making a different decision, because the physical body and the mental body go together. And the physical reality then governs the mind and sets up a lot of belief systems, limitations, constructs that the mind then attaches to and makes it its reality. And then the mind doesn't want to leave that reality because it's built a comfort zone or a safety net there, and it doesn't feel like it's safe to leave it. And so the physical body may also then feel in danger if something's compelling it to leave that belief system or that limited construct that your human part has created to learn lessons on this earth. Yep. Okay, they're channeling this to me right now. When you dive into your heart, though, and you really decide to follow and listen to your emotions and your intuitive body, and you're doing this also because you're building on your spiritual body, then you are going beyond the human construct, immediately going beyond it. And anyone that does daily prayer, affirmations, yoga, meditation, you go through therapy, you do sound healing, you've been through major trauma and crises in your life, and you've sought external help to guide you through that. Every one of you has been already then through a giant spiritual experience. Guess what? Anyone in recovery is going through a spiritual experience. It is not their mind and their physical body that threw them into that recovery. It is their spiritual body, their soul, and their heart that knew they could no longer do this. So in that moment, they entered a higher realm. They connected more with their soul and their higher self, and they decided, whether they were consciously making that decision or not, that they were going to go onto a higher pathway now. They were going to follow a spiritual pathway. Doesn't mean they practice it every day. But guess what? I think that many of us are on that spiritual pathway even when we're not fully conscious that we are on it. And that's why I am talking to you today, so you can see the signs of this. Now, deciding to live as a cosmic being goes a much bigger step further. You're not only living more from your heart center, which is telling you what you truly desire, where your joy really lies. When you live through your heart, you're allowing love to love through you. And the choice you're making every day is coming from love. You're asking that question of what would love do here? How would love show up? That is about living through your heart. And you're living through your spiritual body because your spiritual body is connected to your heart. And then your intuitive body is as well. You will start having more psychic experiences. Your gut feelings will be increased. You'll get feelings about things and you'll be able to express those to people. So if you find yourself talking to people around you saying, I felt this, I knew this, I had a gut feeling. Well, right there is a sign that you are already on this journey and that maybe you're going to a higher level of that journey. You are doing what we call up-leveling or leveling up. Now, I want to tell you that the tools you want to bring in now, and you want to do it consistently, you need to make this your daily practice. And the way you want to begin to live through your cosmic consciousness and beingness is from the first recognition that you are a soul before you are anything else, and that you embody all of the light that you need. You are a carrier of divine light, a carrier of divine wisdom, and a carrier of divine passion. You have that all. It is embedded in your soul. Now, all you have to do is call your soul in. You want to put your soul and your higher self, and let me delineate this. Your soul is like your star, like the sun. It's a star in the sky. Your higher self is that higher consciousness that exists right around your crown chakra, your 8th chakra, your soul star. It's a very big part of you, and it's your light body. And your light body is one of your bodies of light that is around you. It actually resembles your physical body, but it's made of light. And is there matter in the light body? There actually is. But because we're looking at this world through a very small lens, our naked eye can only see a fraction of the spectrum. So we're only looking at what I'm looking at right now, at myself in the camera here. But if we were to look from our third eye and our crown and develop looking at everything from our spiritual body and our higher self and our heart, we would then be able to tap into auras. We would be able to see light bodies around us. We might be able to see our auric body, our etheric body, our astral body. But our light body is where our soul comes in, okay? And our higher self then is our higher mind or our divine mind within our light body. So the first most important thing all you need to do here is say, light a candle. I always say light a candle, because when you light a candle, you are illuminating that room in that moment. Lighting the candle is inviting in illumination. And you are saying this prayer: I give over all of my ego, my control. I give the reins of my life over to my soul. And I give it over to my soul family, tribe, and to all the beautiful divine angelic beings, ascended masters, gods, goddesses, cosmic beings of the highest divine light and love that are working with me, that are watching over me, that are helping my soul journey here on this earth. I invite you all in. And my soul is the driver in my car. And then my guides, the cosmic messengers, my ego, You're all passengers on this journey. And that is the best visual I can give you. And you can even call it in exactly the way I just did here. But that's inviting in your cosmic consciousness. And if you want to do it one step at a time, where you start simply with your soul and your higher self, and then you bring in, your angelic realm, your guides. We all have a whole group of guides around us. You can say, okay, let me work with you first and get comfortable with that and ask them to give you signs. And then you have to have spiritual tools that you work with every day consistently. One of the most powerful tools is meditation. Yoga, Pilates, exercise is another tool, because every time you exercise and you put your attention into it, you're listening to your physical body, you're aligning and harmonizing your physical body, but you're also harmonizing your chakra system. Because our chakra system, the best way for me to describe it is we have the 7 key chakras that we're taught. They have a center to them within our physical body, in the corridor of light that comes in and goes straight through us and down through the soles of our feet. We literally have like a backbone of light, pure light. And that's where our light body emanates from. And so our chakras are like beautiful giant spheres, but they're more flat, they're like discs. So our chakras are discs of light, and they're very large, and the center goes through our physical body at certain points, and it also goes around our physical body into our light body and all of our light bodies, because we have different light bodies around us, right? Our auric body is one of our light bodies, our etheric and astral, and then also our light body that contains the largest amount of our soul. Yep, okay. And so when we do yoga, exercise, meditation, sound healing, singing, anything that's very highly creative, musical, and just listening to the orchestra of sound in nature, connecting with nature, all of these tools are actually spiritual. Because even though this earth is a beautiful being made of matter, the earth has a light body. It has higher dimensional bodies just like we do. And our soul has multiple dimensional bodies. And when we're wanting to live from our cosmic beingness, we're also wanting to live from our multidimensionality. And who knows how many dimensions our soul has existed in and is currently residing and existing in right now. We don't know that answer, but we're wanting to tap into it, because we know that when we do that and using these daily tools, and the other tool I wanted to mention is crystals. Crystals is a wonderful tool, and I meditate every day and I put them on my body. So meditation, exercise, yoga, Pilates, sound healing, color therapy, going to see therapists, getting healings done on yourself, crystal bowl healing, and meditation. All of these are spiritual tools. Okay, prayer, making your own affirmations, getting oracle decks where you pull affirmation cards, doing your own little pulling of cards every day to help guide you, listening to your guides, building a dialogue with your guides and with your soul on a daily level. All of these are incredible tools that are moving you very, very quickly along this pathway of soul integration through your light body into your physical body. This is called the Ascension pathway, or the Ascension Journey, that so many of us are on. And what we're doing now, unlike any other time on this earth that I know of, within the 3 or 4th D. I know we were there before when the earth was in the 5D. The earth has existed in higher dimensions before. We simply don't have any history about that at this time, but that history is going to be soon revealed. Yep, it's going to be revealed. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought here. Okay. Meditation always brings you in. Yes, that's what they were reminding me. Breathing techniques, deep breathing, yogic breathing. But there's a lot of other breathings. Rebirthing yourself through breath work is very important here. They're reminding me swimming in the ocean, connecting with the whale medicine, dolphin medicine, seal medicine, shark medicine. There's great ancient medicine and magic in the ocean. There's magic in the mountains, in the earth. The earth has this multidimensional beingness to her that we can't quite see yet. And you can tap into it at any time, just like you're tapping into your guides and listening to them. The last tool I'm going to invite you to work with too is journaling. Journal every day if you can, once a week, under new moons, full moons, because we live in an orchestra of planetary light. And the planets are going through the great mysteries of the constellations and our Milky Way and the galaxies around our Milky Way and this universe and the universes beyond. Astrology is a secret language. So is numerology and the Kabbalah. These are all secret languages. These are tools as well as light language that you can use on your ascension pathway. And so the moment you choose to live at this level, the next thing I want to ask you to do is to not only study your past lives, but also study your parallel lives and your future lives. Because when you go into the cosmic consciousness, you're going to instantly realize time is not linear. Time is fluid. And in these moments, we are then tapping in to the unified field of consciousness. And in that field, unlimited possibilities and potentialities lives. And that is where we get to be the magician, the hierophant, and the high priestess. We are the magician here. We are the manifester of our reality. That means now that we want to bring in divine counterparts. We want to be in cosmic connections. They can be cosmic connections with a family member or within our family, inviting our family to join us there. We can build them with our children, our grandchildren. We can build them with business partners. Imagine what businesses would be on this earth if we decided to all build cosmic relationships, because cosmic relationships require us to live from our soul downward, not simply from our human expression. And when our soul is in charge, doesn't mean our ego dissolves, but it means our ego then works with our soul. And our ego is going to be there to show us where we still carry within us trauma and triggers. And so one of the first things we're going to learn in inviting in and wanting to create and build these beautiful cosmic connections is that when we invite them in, that person is going to probably trigger us. Maybe not intentionally, and maybe they will trigger us intentionally, but they're going to do it because there's something we want to heal, and they're going to do it because they are on the same frequency as us. When you are in a cosmic connection with another that's also on the cosmic journey, you are sharing a frequency that's very close to one another. May not be identical, because you may not be one's actual divine counterpart, but it will be similar enough that you'll be able to translate light and energy back and forth to mirror one another and help one another heal any childhood traumas, life, past life, parallel lives, future life traumas, whatever these traumas are. It doesn't matter where they come from, okay? But it's wanting to simply accept them, see them, recognize them, heal them, or perhaps even bring them in. You want to integrate them into your being, because on the Ascension Journey, what we're doing is we're becoming a fully integrated cosmic being. That's it in a nutshell. We are bringing full light and passion into every cell in our physical body, every cell that goes through our light bodies, because we have cellular memory that exists at every level here. And so we're bringing full light and full cosmic love and passion into every part of our cellular matrix system and our DNA system as well. That's what this journey is about. So now let's look at cosmic connections. There is no way I would want to live on this earth any other way. I know that in the beginning of my relationship world, I didn't date right away. I had a really hard time in high school and junior high, and I felt very different. I felt like an observer looking in, because I even knew back then, even as a child, I was a dream walker, and I knew that I was on this earth, but I was always looking to the stars. I was always saying, I want to go home. I didn't really want to be here, and I know I'm speaking to many of you as I say this, but I knew that the earth itself is it's a beautiful cosmic being itself, It's not just this inanimate physical thing of matter. It's filled with magic and sacred codes of light and love and healing and wisdom. They all lie within the earth. So tap into the consciousness of the earth on this journey, and also tap in to your cosmic heritage, not only your soul family heritage or your heritage and ancestral line on this earth, but also your cosmic ancestral line. There's so much wisdom and beauty there when you do that. And when you decide to tap into your cosmic ancestral line, that's when you're going to bring in a true cosmic divine counterpart. Because that's when you're choosing to have someone who is a complete magnet to you. And you know how they say two magnets? There's no two magnets exactly the same beyond two magnets. Let me clarify that. So for every one magnet, there is exactly one other that fits it down to the cellular level. That's why the name Twin Flame got birthed. That's what that describes. It is someone that you are, like every cell of your body and your being is magnetized to theirs, and every cell of theirs is magnetized to yours. That's the way I'm going to describe a twin flame, but that's also the way I'm going to describe a divine sacred counterpart. Someone where the magnetics is so beyond that there's no other language you can find for it but what I simply described. Now, do we have more than one of those? Absolutely, we do. The higher you raise your consciousness, the deeper you go into full embodiment of your soul and your cosmic beingness, the more you're going to recognize that there are other cosmic divine counterparts out there. Are they all here in a human form expression on the earth? No, they're not. They're not. Some of them are not here. It doesn't matter. You can still form a relationship with them no matter where they are in the multiverse. Call them in, and they will hear that call. Right now, though, we are walking this earth. So the first place to start should be putting out that call on the earth plane. When I first really felt that cosmic connection, I knew it was that because all of my chakras were lighting up in ways that I had never, ever felt in my entire life. There was only one person, though, and I'm not going to have a name for anyone here on this channel. I'm just going to call them M. I'm going to give him the name M. And I'm heterosexual. That's what I'm most drawn to. He is the only single human being I've met thus far that every one of my chakras, and I mean from the soles of my feet out through the top of my head. Cellular resonance, chakra resonance was complete when I felt his energy. Did it come in instantaneously when I first saw him or met him? No, it did not. But there was a moment where it hit me like a lightning bolt. And it happened at the gym when I was exercising. I did not know quite what hit me, but I knew that it was something I could not deny. There was a moment in time when I was slowly getting to know him where, and I only got to know him at the gym. I did not meet him beyond that. We never took it beyond that because something did happen between us, and I don't know where he is on the earth at this time. But I am here to thank him from the bottom of my heart, because I don't know that without meeting him that I would have accelerated my journey as fast as I have. When two sacred divine counterparts at the level of twin flame, sacred soulmate, twin soul, whatever word you want to give it, when you meet, there is something alchemical that happens. And the meeting may be only a moment in time. It may last days. It could be only hours. It could be days, hours, weeks, months. However long it is, it does not matter. It's the meeting and the moment where each of you recognizes that something alchemical is happening, that meeting was necessary. And once the recognition that something absolutely beyond this 3D world is occurring, something miraculous, magical, godly, universal is occurring in that moment, when at least one of you recognizes it, something happens within that relationship. If you both recognize it around the same time, and you're both available to discover what this is, and the fear is not overwhelming you, then that connection, that cosmic connection, because that's what that is, will move forward, and you will not go into separation. If, however, neither one of you is completely recognizing it, but you're aware that this is something beyond this world, but the fear in both of you is too profound and you're both pushing it away, then there will be a separation. You'll both run from each other, okay? What usually happens, though, is one of you is able to ground it, to hold it down and ground that cosmic connection into the earth. That's why we have what's called a runner and a chaser. That's where that original languaging came in. And that is why you go into separation, because one of you came in to recognize it before the other and to actually ground it. You pulled the codes that you have together and you put them into the earth. And you did something magnificent, because that then means for as long as you are walking this earth in human form, then that grounding force is there, and that other soul can decide at any given time to awaken to this connection, to decide that they want that cosmic connection, and that they are more ready for it now than they were maybe months ago, years ago, or a decade or more ago. In my case, this was 11 years ago. And in fact, this journey began when I got out of a very codependent relationship. My earlier relationships were with soulmates. You know, there was some beautiful energy there, but they were limited relationships. And when I learned what I needed to learn, I recognized that I couldn't stay there anymore. It was holding me in a prison that I could not be in anymore. And the first one, I was married. I did not leave it. I made the decision on a soul level that I couldn't do this any longer. And I actually had a profound, not just dream, I went before the Council of Light and I asked to be released on a soul level from my soulmate. And 2 weeks later, his body was found. He died. To this day, I'll never know exactly how this happened, even though it was listed finally as a suicide. And that's just very private information. I will not share any more beyond that. But that was a profound change in my life course. And it was something that happened at the turn of the millennium. It's been 21 years. Almost 21 years. Yeah, actually it's been, wow, it has been exactly 21 years. But it threw me onto a whole nother level. And I had started studying astrology. I started as a prayer partner at the Church of Today. I started really going into prayer and working with others and helping others. And then I started believing in the soulmate journey. But I didn't know anything beyond that, because as a child and as a young teenager, I felt like I had to find a way to fit into this world, even though I didn't feel like I was part of it. And I let go of the dream that I could be with a magical other being. I let it go because I felt like I had to be here and present for this reality. But guess what? After I got back on my soul journey completely after this, and I went through many years of a lot of very close deaths to me in my life up until 2008. And then I was in that codependent relationship, and I knew it was time for me to let that one go too. And I decided that I was either going to walk this earth and stay self-partnered, develop self-love and self-partnership, because I was not available anymore for anything other than Superman. Something in me just knew intrinsically that I was looking for Superman. There's no other hero out there that I resonate with like that, none. And of course, all along, my angels and guides had been guiding me here. I suddenly, through the partner I was with at the time before we broke up, he decided Smallville was the show we were going to watch together. I didn't choose it. And I suddenly became very deeply involved with that show, and something in me started lining up like, why am I so drawn to Superman? And ever since then, not a year goes by where one of the actors who have played Superman comes in to be in my dream world. And they are the most beautiful dreams that I have with a masculine counterpart. I even got a message recently in the last couple months when I was in the shower from my guides, and it was Archangel Michael that came in, and he said, honey, you are meant to be in a cosmic relationship, nothing but that. And Superman is the person you are wanting to bring in. Whatever that means, I'm not even 100% sure what that means or what that looks like, but I'm sharing my journey with you. And so after 2008, I was very single, and I wanted to stay that way. And then I met a trans channel, and she told me, you are a divine being and you have a divine counterpart. And she said to me, I have never ever channeled this for anybody else before. I don't know what this is about, but she said the energy here is unbelievable. It is magical. It is beyond your wildest dreams. And those are her exact words, beyond your wildest dreams. And she said this is going to be a journey. I did not know in 2009 when she said that what I was going to jump on was the twin flame journey. I already knew I was on the Ascension journey. I simply did not know that the twin flame part of it was the fastest way on this Ascension journey. And so in that moment I realized, oh my gosh, maybe what I felt as a child is real. Maybe I do have a divine counterpart, a cosmic being walking this earth. And just as I am seeking them, they are seeking me. And she told me, you will meet them soon. And that summer, at the end of the summer, I had a very profound experience that was very sexual and sensual in nature, and it was not with a human being. It was with a spiritual being, where it opened up my kundalini, and my kundalini rose, and I was guided into a very temporary relationship, but it was incredibly significant because it was the first time I felt that chakra connection to another human being. In the past, I always felt that chemical connection, sensual, the connection of the minds, great minds thinking alike. There was all of that, butterflies and chemistry that we have with soulmates and comfort zones, and they fit things on paper. You know what I'm describing here. That's a soulmate connection. But there are sacred soulmates or very close soulmates where we can have that strong chakra experience too. With him, it was energetic. Oh my gosh, it was energetic. We talked, but we didn't have to talk much. It was so beautiful, and I remember the moment his lips touched mine, I literally felt like I entered a dream. And in that moment, what did I go to? I went to that whole human construct of, this is too good to be true. And he was so much younger than me as well. And it wasn't what I wanted. I was not looking for that. But I was guided here. They were guiding me whether I liked it or not on this journey. And they were telling me that whoever my divine counterpart is, I was going to have to get used to the fact that they were probably going to be significantly younger than me. Maybe not. Maybe that's changed today. I don't know. But the experience was otherworldly, and it was so beautiful, and I thank him to this day. I know I can find him if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. He's a beautiful being. He was always honest and truthful, even though he never wanted a committed partnership, and I respected that. I had a couple beautiful encounters with him that changed the face of my world. And at the end of that journey with him, I actually met M. I'm just going to call him M. And it was a lightning bolt. I realized that the one before him was there to get me ready, because with the one before him, I felt a beautiful heart chakra connection. But I didn't feel it in all the other areas of my body. I just felt this amazing heart opening. When I met M, I literally felt energy blow out the top of my head. I felt orgasmic energy moving through me without me doing a darn thing. And I felt his thoughts. I could literally hear him talking to me from mind to mind. But I realized later that I think a lot of this was our souls talking to one another. But I was very well aware that after we stopped talking, because we had a very big incident where there was miscommunication, and he couldn't recover from it, and that is why he stopped talking to me. But I'm also aware that as I was opening up, every one of my chakras, including my out-of-body chakras, were open to him, that he was my divine counterpart, and that everything in my life was preparing me for this, and that he was there to ignite that within me. Whether he was there to stay or not, it wasn't about that, because he wasn't ready. When the miscommunication occurred, it occurred because he disrespected me, and he probably didn't know he was doing it. He may have had an awareness, he may not have, and I had made a promise to myself that I would not allow that from another relationship, because I'd had so much of it before. And that was the promise I made to myself. It was about my own self-respect. But because at the time I was so nervous around him, because the feelings were amazing, they were magical. When I was around him, I left this world and we were floating in the cosmos together. That's how I felt when I talked to him. There is no part of me that will ever stop loving him, but understand it's an unconditional love. I have accepted that. It's not about me being with him. He may return to my life at some point, but it's not about that. It's about the recognition of what he gave me. He ignited every part of my being. And I'm hoping that at some point he recognizes that I did the same for him. He pushed me away, and he pushed me away very, very strongly. he actually gave me the hand. And I could tell because his body would shake when I came around him. He couldn't do it. He didn't know what was happening, and he didn't have the spiritual tools. He was younger than me. I don't know how old he was. I never asked him. It wasn't a conversation I ever wanted to have because maybe I was afraid to know the answer. I do know he was older than the one I met before him, though, but I don't know how much older. And he suddenly left my life. I didn't know he was leaving. I went on a 10-day vacation and came back, and I hoped that there was going to be an opening where we could resolve the miscommunication. And I came back to find that he had left. And I was told that he was actually looking for me, but he left no message behind. But I'm sharing this with you today because he gave me the most beautiful gift another soul can give you. He gave me my ascension. He put me on the twin flame journey. He gave me back a piece of myself. Yeah. You know, in other lifetimes, I may have left a piece of myself with him. And so through that journey, he gave me that piece back so that I am now becoming a whole unified being. And on this journey, I want to welcome in another divine counterpart because I know that the higher I go, the more divine counterparts I believe are going to meet me there. And he may be the one. He may be the only one. I don't know that. But I want to believe that there are many because I'm tapping into the unlimited potentiality of the unified field of all consciousness. And I believe that there's more than one divine counterpart there. I believe that there are multiple. Whether they are at that same exact magnetic level, that I don't know yet. But I want to find out. I want to open up my romantic world to experience that again and to see what wants to meet me there. So my invitation for all of you today, as I talk about this and share my journey with you, is for you to recognize what a cosmic counterpart is, what that divine counterpart is. It's someone that's going to ignite your chakras. Now you might meet several because after him, I met a couple more men where I felt a chakra alignment with, but I didn't feel all of my chakras align with them. I only felt 2 or 1 line up with them. With one of them, I felt a very strong third eye and crown, which told me that he was a sacred soulmate. With another, I felt a very strong third eye, and I felt some heart energy too. But I did not feel the sacral or the root or I didn't feel it bounce through my soles, the soles of my feet. I didn't feel it at the same level, but guess what? It was pretty close. So that's why I'm telling you, there are divine counterparts that line up completely and totally with us, like one magnet to another, and there are those where there's more than enough alignment that they can become or be a divine counterpart. And maybe when you come together into a physical union, the rest of that alignment will come in and you can make it happen between one another. So please know that this is a dance. But guess what? If you are meeting someone where you're not having any of your chakras lining up with them, then I'm here to tell you they're not a divine counterpart, but they can be a soulmate. And guess what? If that soulmate and you are on a spiritual journey together and you want to come into union, you want to get on this dance and see how far you can go together, see if you can open up one another's chakras, I'm inviting you to do so. But today I just want to delineate the difference here. And the last thing I want to say about this, okay, not the last, the other experience I had with my 100% divine counterpart was that after we stopped talking, or he actually stopped talking to me, I literally experienced him more than once while I was fully awake and conscious, because I was taking groceries home through my front door. I felt him come into my body, wrap his arms around me, and literally make love to me in that very moment. I have never had an experience quite like that. It was cosmic lovemaking. It was cosmic lovemaking. It was so beautiful. I have no words for it. But that's when you know that this is a really powerful, really powerful divine counterpart right there. And he was coming into my dreams, and he started coming into my dreams long after, for years after he disappeared from my life. And they were beautiful dreams. So do know that with a divine counterpart, there's no limitations to where and how you can connect. None at all. It is unlimited. And you can call on them, and you can have a conversation with them telepathically, no matter where they are on this earth, or off this earth too. Because who knows, maybe my counterpart's no longer here. I don't know that. But understand, there's no limitations here. There's no firewall. Call them in. If you want to talk to them while you're meditating, while you're sleeping at night, if you want to dream with them, make love with them while you're sleeping, go on dates with them, have a out-of-body experience with them, there are no limits here, okay? But on the physical realm, there are certain rules. So while we're here, incarnated through the physical expression, there are certain rules that you want to honor. And this is also on a soul level too. You want to have very strong, respectful boundaries. That's rule number 1. So if you want to invite them into your dream world, you want to have out-of-body experiences with them, you want to have telepathy with them, ask them, set the intention, invite them in, tell them you want to experience this with them, but you have to have their permission always. Rule number 1. And then understand that because you're coming together from more of a cosmic beingness, two cosmic beings having a partnership or a relationship, the space between you is very, very large. And so the boundaries you create have to be very large and spatial. You can't push too hard on one another's boundaries here. Codependency does not exist here. It has to be removed completely. There's no dependency allowed whatsoever, because this is a dance of love and light. So recognize and honor one's boundaries and be respectful. Always ask permission for what you can and cannot experience with them, and they're going to let you know, and you can tell them where your boundaries are and what you want to feel and talk and hear also, because if there's telepathy, you want to be sure that they're not hearing things that you don't want them to hear, right? Okay, there's a lot of rules here that are new, and we're all going to want to talk more and more about this as we go more into building these cosmic partnerships on the earth. And then, as you're getting to know this person, you have to take it in very small steps. Because again, you're dealing with two beings that are trying to do this in physical form. And so you're going to instantly trigger one another. And so in those moments, what I want to tell you is don't do finger pointing, please. That's not the way through here. Remember, every time you point that finger, the thumb is pointing back. So if they hit a trigger in you, or they frustrate you or make you mad, which is what my divine counterpart did, and that's why we had that conversation where everything went out the window, they triggered me very big time. It's recognizing the trigger in you and where that trauma lies. And then you can tell them about it, and you can say, can you hold the space for me to heal this? And guess what? They may actually share that same trigger with you, where then you both get to heal it together. What a beautiful journey that is, right? When you both have that level of consciousness. Now, I want to complete the video by giving you the last couple signs or rules to apply. If you are currently in a divine connection like this, then you know to take it very slowly and to be incredibly respectful and really, really listen to them, their soul, and to listen to your own soul. Always honor yourself, because self-love is the first thing you have to bring in here. If you are not developing your own cosmic beingness, you cannot stay in a cosmic connection. You both have to be growing together, otherwise you grow apart. Yeah, you have to. And if you have not met this cosmic counterpart and you want to bring them into your life, recognize that when you do meet them, the very first thing to see is there a soul connection? And then to recognize what is that soul connection. And that might take spending time with them, because you may not know it in that first moment or that first date or that first conversation. So you've got to get to know them a little bit more, open yourself up to see and feel the energy that's coming to you. And then you want to see, are they feeling the same way I am? Are they experiencing this? You want to ask the question. You want to see, are they really looking deeply into your eyes? Is their communication giving you the answers? Because you want to listen with your ears, but you want to listen with your heart and your intuition and your cosmic beingness too. All the answers and the information will lie there. And breathe through it. Do not forget to breathe. So this is the way through. And guess what? If you recognize that they have a lot of fear and they start pushing you away, they're not ready for it, you've got to move away. You have two choices here. You either give them space and you wait for them to come to you. You do not go towards them at all, not at all. Or you simply walk away and leave them where they are, because they may decide that they can't go any further, that they have a personal journey to go on now, that you have come in simply as the activator for them. Because on these cosmic journeys with cosmic counterparts, if you're meeting up with someone that you have that strong connection with, that cosmic magnet connection, if they are not at the same level of you as you, or similar, close to it, then this connection is not going to be able to go forward. So that's the second rule, or the second thing you have to look for next to what is the connection about. Those are primary directives here. Recognizing what kind of soul connection you have, and then where are they on this connection? Are they at the same level or close to the same level as you? Because if they are not, the answer is you can't go any further, because they have work to do or you have work to do. You may recognize, oh my gosh, they're at a level maybe higher than I am. And then you have to, you're not going to have to pull back. You're going to probably run if that's the case, okay? But guess what? Because on this journey where we have so much beautiful divine guidance, and when you're calling in your soul to live within you, and you're calling in your angels and guides to live with you, and you're connecting with your soul family, your cosmic family and ancestry, and you're really working with all of this divine energy on a daily basis, you can move through this incredibly quickly, within hours, within days, and come back and talk to that person and recognize, oh my gosh, look at what we just went through in a couple days. So please have faith on this journey. And there's one more thing I want to mention here too. Two more things. Your cosmic partner may not be healthy. You'll probably know that though right away, because they will not be at the same level as you. For them to be at your level and you're healthy means they're going to be unhealthy. They could have codependency issues. They could have addictions. They could be in some form of recovery. They could be dealing with some kind of depression that they have to work through, and they're not ready for this. And I'm not trying to say that if you suffer from depression, you're not on this journey. That's not it at all. But if you're in a depressive break where you're really needing your own space and to work on yourself, then you know that you don't want to do this right now. That's all, okay? And so your counterpart is going to recognize that this is not healthy at this time. And you may also realize that if the person you're with is in a heavily addictive mode and they don't want to seek help, they're not ready to break out of it, then you do have to leave, and you really have to leave fast, because that means that that divine counterpart may not be someone you're going to be able to be with in this lifetime, or at least not anytime soon, because that means there's so much work that they have to do still, and maybe the choices they're making are never going to align them with you. But at least in that moment when you came into connection with them, you hopefully transmuted energy to them where they are able to recognize the connection, and you gave them enough of your light and passion to ignite something, some spark within them, where they will then be able to find an awakening in their life. So you did a beautiful thing for them. Please know your love and your energy is never wasted on anybody. It always goes somewhere. And then the last thing I want to say, yes, we have arrived now, is that even when you do find this beautiful divine counterpart, and maybe you have many, and so let's start with the one you're going to find next. Maybe you meet them, maybe you already have. Decide if they're at the same level or close to it. Decide, okay, I recognize there's a beautiful, incredible soul connection. We're leveling up together, we're growing together. Then the last thing you want to ask is, do you really want the same things? Because sometimes our journey on this earth is going to be running parallel. At other times, it's really going to be at cross purposes. And I'm going to give you a very big example. I'm going to use myself again as a reference point. I was born in the 60s. I feel like I'm an ageless being. I'm wanting to break through the whole pattern of ageism and age and being a certain age. I resonate mostly with people born much younger in the decades, they're much younger than me, born in the decades after me. Doesn't mean I don't have friends born in decades, the 50s. I do, but I don't look at my friends as an age. I look at them as a soul. And what was I going to say about that? But because of that, in this lifetime, there were other reasons why I decided not to have children. I was a teacher for 13 years of my life, and I've spent a good deal of my life helping children, helping parents. I've been around a lot of children. Do I want to mother again? No, I do not. And I'm not going to bear anybody's children. So that's a very, very big life choice. And that means then that if I'm calling in a divine counterpart, that they have to be somewhere on that journey where that's not an issue for them. Okay, so that's the example I want to give you. There are multiple examples, but that's a very, very big example because I know other beautiful divine counterparts that are women that already have one or two children and they don't want to have any more. And so they know that this is a very big life choice as well. And of course, if they listen to this, they know who I'm talking about. And so yes, when you call in your divine counterpart, and you can call them in as we're going into the Lion's Gate here, you may put that out there as a caveat, that I need my divine counterpart to not require me to be a mother or to not require me to have children. And that's a big one. Whatever other things that you want to put on that list as you call in that divine counterpart. Alrighty, so that's what I wanted to share with everyone today. This went a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I was guided to bring this out. And please know, from the future forward, I'm going to be on my Instagram and on some of my YouTube channel stuff doing cosmic spreads here for these divine counterparts and pulling cards and bringing in some channeling messages for you. So below will be the description for my website. Do jump on it for any lectures that I've given in the past and I'm giving in the future. My YouTube information is below as well. Not that you need it because it's here already. And then my Instagram as well. So I wish you all the very, very best on this beautiful, magnificent journey. And please know that in truth, there aren't really any rules here. We are made of magic. We are made of stardust. And that is the most beautiful message that I can leave you with today. Blessings.